second. Well, it's that time once again. George T coming at you tonight. Is Wednesday, about 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern. I always get that confused. I don't know why. I shouldn't say I get confused. It's just that I talk to so many people in different parts of the country that oftentimes I'm messing up my time. I got my calendar all messed up. Just because I'm speaking one time zone and they're speaking the other, no matter what we're doing. I don't know how many things I've missed. I don't know if it's just me or if some of y'all are quite like me. But whatever. JT always teases me because I don't even know. He says what the difference between Central Standard Time and Central Time is. He was giving me a big hard fit about that because I don't even understand that stuff. But anyway, here we are. It's going to be another great night. We got a great guest on What's This Today. We got some pretty hot topics to talk about. The rulings that have come down with Deshaun Watson. The Miami Dolphins are up in the air. There's stuff going on with the Commanders. What's really happening? There's some Cowboy news. They're signing new linebackers for what? Alabama's still doing this thing. And we got to talk about why Alabama just seemed to rule Notre Dame too. I don't know. Maybe my guests think that's a little bit different. And make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to this page if you're not. Let people know what Teague's Take podcast is. Have them come on in. A lot of times people tell me, man, I just keep missing the podcast. I forget when it is. Hey, just hit that bell right up there on the right. You'll get all the alerts when we put up the new shows. We don't put out a lot of other information on here that much, so you won't get bombarded with too many alerts. But you'll know when the weekly shows are, and it'll be a good time for you to come on in and do that. It's been great. It's been fun. I'm going to be on tonight by myself. I do got a special guest from another podcast as well who does extremely well. He's been doing it a long time as well, and he is very, very opinionated, and that is what we like. So I want to start out like this first, though, for my run out. Choices, decisions, and consequences. Choices, decisions, and consequences. This might sound like I'm preaching a little bit. Maybe I am. I don't know. It's just something that's always on my heart. I have 2 kids. My son is 29 now. My daughter's 22. One of the things that I always tried to instill in them was about those 3 words: the choices that they make, the decision, or the choices that they have, the decisions that they make, and the consequences that come with it. So I used to make these little things, put them up in their room. Choices were smaller, decisions a little bit bigger, and then consequences was real big and had a big dynamite stick essentially on it. Because I think you can become a better person, or you can kind of know what the outcomes will be if you follow these rules that I've put for my kids. And I think that's oftentimes we think we don't have good choices, and sometimes we don't. You're backed in the corner, you got to do something, but typically there's always some kind of choice that we have to make. Yeah, let's be real about it, right? So if I was talking to a high school kid, this is what I say. If you have a choice to drink and you then have a choice to get behind the wheel or not, you need to be thinking about that when you get ready to make the decision to do that. Well, you know what? No one was there. I was the only one that could drive, and we both have been drinking. No, there's some other choices that you got nowadays. What about this? I'm going to go have sex with this girl, and you got a choice whether or not you're going to put on a condom or not. Right? You got to make some decisions. So whenever you got these choices, the best way that you can make decisions is to think about the consequence. So as I was saying about the driving after you've been drinking, always think about the consequences. Take a minute, slow down for a second. Man, if I go out here and drive while I'm drunk and I hit somebody, man, think about what the consequences might be. Death, you going to jail, shattering your life, someone else. Or in another case, I decided not to put that condom on. Baby, bills, something else. Right? So I always try to get them to think about the consequence and then deciding if you can live with the consequence. So here's another one, real life about me. I got this picture out here behind me, right? So in our book, they had all the fines in our book in the NFL. If you get ejected out of the game, it's going to cost you $24,999. So I was in the game. Things are happening. I had a choice. I can go out there and go ahead and try to get with T.O., or I could not. I made that decision. Now I need to live with the consequence that was given to me. I got ejected. I knew that was coming, and I knew the big fine was coming, right? It seems so simple to me. I don't know. Y'all can tell me if it's something different, or maybe I'm just too simple-minded about it. But this gets into the first topic that I'm going to bring my guest on in here in just a second, because it's like Deshaun Watson. Getting deep, right? It's getting deep. So I'm thinking, man, the dude is wrong. There's a whole lot of stuff that was wrong about that. But I'm also mad at the NFL because I feel like they've been procrastinating. That's what I put in the title of this thing. I think they have been procrastinating. They knew they already know what kind of decision. They could have made this decision a long time ago. Give the man his doggone consequences and let's go. It should have took a whole year for them to try to figure out that it's going to be 6 games. Judge, whatever the process is. Now they want to appeal. Now they're going to put them another year. Come on, give me a break. How long is it going to figure out this stuff with the Commanders? How long did it take about this stuff with the Miami Dolphins? It's too much. It's too much. So I want to go ahead and bring in Terrell Jenkins of Realism Sports Talk. Yeah. My man, we met, through social media, actually. I'm not even exactly sure how it went, if it was just because I said something about
it was fantasy football.
But
you ain't you coached my son at the Blue-Gray All-American game, which is the jersey hanging behind me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. I couldn't remember if you were just talking noise to me via social media about the Dallas Cowboys or something else. But
well, usually I am.
So what do you think? Well, first of all, Craig, Pam, thank you guys for being in tonight. Make sure you feed your questions in, whatever you want, and I'm going to answer that. And we need to talk about that. Pam just asked, she wonders why it took so long for this to happen with Deshaun Watson. Let's stick with him first. All right. So this happened over a year ago. He sits out a whole year with the Houston Texans. Ends up sitting, waiting, whatever. Somehow he gets rewarded $230 million. Gets to the Browns, and now there's like this rush all of a sudden. Well, we got to make this decision before the league comes on. I don't know. Maybe I'm being skeptical about it, and just thinking about the way this looks. I just think it looks bad. So why do you think, what is it with the NFL that makes them take so long to make decisions on something that we all seem like should be pretty easy?
Talking to me?
Yes, sir.
I think it's because of previous encounters. I think they've had so many black eyes for doing the wrong thing so many times that they want to take the ball out of their court. That's why they were happy to say, let's let another judge decide, hoping that she was going to do what they thought that they wanted her to do. Because they knew in the back pocket that they could always appeal, and he could be the judge, jury, and executioner still if he needed to.
Okay, and I do agree with that. But why would you think that, or why should we think that, with the way that the CBA, collective bargaining agreement, the way the NFL is set up and all that kind of stuff, they have the right to do whatever they wanted to do and impose these fines. They've imposed fines on guys for a whole lot worse than that, or no, I'm sorry, not worse than what he did, less than that, but the penalty was longer. They've set guys out for a year for substance abuse. uh, I mean, it just seems weird to me that if you have 24 girls coming out and accusing you of something, hell, Zeke had the one incident with the girl. There was no lawsuit, no charges done, and he had to sit 4 games or whatever it was.
Yep.
Right. And then they had to appeal. So how could it not come to this conclusion based upon precedent or something, or precedents set that, hey, give them 12. I mean, 6 if you felt like that's it. But if you're feeling like you felt now, they should have already been and came down and said, man, now you're out the whole year, whether it was last year or just when we were going into spring camp, that, hey, he's going to sit out the whole year. Am I wrong about that? Do you think I'm
No, I think you're absolutely correct. And honestly, I thought they were going to make him pay back his salary for last year and include that as his punishment going forward. I think the biggest thing about this whole Deshaun Watson thing is we can't get to any factual things. We can always think it seems dirty. When there's smoke, there's fire. Something doesn't feel right about the whole thing. But
yes.
Like I said before, like with the Ray Rice, Calvin Ridley, and everybody else, there's facts included with that to show that this really did happen. And with 20 out of 24 women all of a sudden going away, whether financially or not, which is bad to say, because if this really did happen to someone, I feel so sorry for them. But on the other hand, you never know who's about the money and who, whether it was real or not. And as a Kobe Bryant fan, you know I am. What happened in Colorado was all a scam to get money. Not saying that this is the case, but it just makes you wonder sometimes.
Yes, it does. And I don't get it. I just felt like a long time ago. And maybe I feel like I'm too emotionally attached to this. And I think JT and I have talked about it before. I just felt like last year or whatever it was, they could have went on and made this decision and said, they didn't even say he was suspended indefinitely or anything. They just left it up to the Texans. And then what happens? We find out later that maybe the Texans are complicit in this. He's doing all these doggone things up in the facility. So, good Lord. I mean, this is an ugly, ugly scandal to me, I think.
I think you nailed it at the beginning, George, when you said that the owners, you were talking about my team's owner and Miami's owner. I think the owners get a lot of leeway, like Robert Kraft and things he's got caught up in and everything. And I think that they were worried about the Texans, and the owners seem like they take care of each other in the NFL. Seem like it's a big old, big old group of old boys that they take care of each other, and they try to sweep certain things under so other things don't pop back up. I don't know, but that's just my feeling.
No, it's true. So I heard someone talking about this today on one of the talk shows, and it was about the owners, and actually the NFL commissioner kind of wanted to talk to the owners about this Deshaun Watson thing and what that really looks like. I'm like, what are they talking to him for? Because you know what they're going to say.
Right.
Turn the other cheek, what's going to be bad. And nobody, they're not ever going to say what those conversations are, but people know that he's calling around and asking, hey, what do you think? What do you think? And good Lord, now you got these guys in here and you want them to do right by the ladies or by the situation, but they're still looking at bottom line to this, their dollar bottom line I'm talking about. Particularly if you get how does this look for the Browns? What is this going to look like if they actually say he can't play the whole year? Good Lord.
That can't happen, because you can't tell me that Deshaun Watson, who hasn't played in almost 2 years, maybe over 2 years now, gets the first ever guaranteed contract to get the most money in history, and they didn't know some kind of something that he's gonna be out X amount of games. Come on, you can't give somebody that much money and think, oh, the NFL might suspend him indefinitely. I think there had to be something behind the lines, and I think this whole appeal thing, I think Roger Goodell's going to have nothing to do with it. I think somebody else is going to do it, but they might wink in his eye or whisper in his ear and say, "Make it a year." I just feel that way about the whole thing.
Well,
it's kind of dirty feeling.
No, you're absolutely right. Want to say what's up to Craig Young. He's a Teakster. He's always in. I see he said he got tickets to the 92 reunion. I just bought my airline ticket to get back into Tuscaloosa. So I'll be there too. I'll be there early. So we'll be able to catch up and shake some hands, eat some ribs, do something. I don't know what we're going to do, Craig. Bama Standards in the house. You know that guy, Justin Riley, doing his thing, coming on in. He said, what's up, folks?
All this Bama love. All this Bama love. I got
my
boy Brandon on my show. He loves you. He loves Alabama. He loves the Dolphins, so he really loves you. Double time.
So why don't you go ahead and tell us about that show real quick before we go into the Miami Dolphins real fast? You know, where people can find you, what do you do, what do you talk about, that kind of thing.
Well, I started this. It's kind of crazy with COVID. Me and my friends, we've been friends forever. We love sports. Regular old Joes. We coach a lot of youth football, a lot of youth everything, AAU. COVID happened. There was no sports, so I just started this show. And it started picking up steam this year, and then we made another show, The Raw Show, where we're all on there. We talk about sports from Hall of Famers to local talent to the big-time storylines. So we love all that, love engaging with new aspects and new thought processes. You have opened up many platforms for me, so I'm grateful to you and grateful to the things that you do in your community. It's awesome. I just look forward to keep moving in those steps, man. I love watching your show and all the other people's shows. It's great.
Well, I appreciate it, man. And I have to say one thing that I have to question about what you just said is you said you love sports, but I'm trying to figure out how you love sports if you're a Commanders fan.
That's why. Look,
just say like you're a good sports fan.
Huh? That's why I play fantasy football and win these. You know what I'm saying? That's why I play fantasy football and win these. You know what I mean?
You making those? You ain't winning none of them. Whatever.
Hey, we earned them, baby. We earned them.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't hear about Eli Gold. You're gonna have to put that in there. I don't know what happened to him, so I just saw a comment down here about Eli Gold, so I'm gonna have to read it.
What happened to him?
I don't know. So thank you for giving me the update with that. So let's talk about these Dolphins now. This is kind of convoluted too, right? You got a team that was in trouble about potential Rooney Rule violations, whatever. So it started with that, and then it led to the tanking kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're finding out that there is some tampering going on. So does it amount? I guess when does or will there ever be a such thing in the NFL as what do they call it when you're lack of institutional control? Is that possible? And do you fix it by giving up draft picks? Is that harsh enough for things like that?
No, of course it's not harsh enough. Tampering, we've seen tampering. Everybody does that. Everybody does it. Every sport. How do you think all these super teams come about? There's always some kind of tampering going on. Somebody knows somebody to talk to somebody for them. I mean, we all know this. But when you see the penalty of what he got, you realize there was something else involved, because the facts came out that the owner, Ross, did say he would give the money to Flores. Wink, wink. The wink, wink was basically, if you accept it, I'm going to give it to you. If you don't, I was joking. You know what I mean? And
right.
Then he did value draft position over wins. Isn't that the whole thing called tanking? So that's why you see the punishment you see. And it's still not big enough. But they're not going to do anything to make an owner look so bad, like Sterling for the Clippers, to have to lose their team. Because it's the old boys club, and they take care of each other.
Mm-hmm. You own it there. And so there's a good article on ESPN that I pulled up while I was just looking at this, just to try to get a little bit of information about it. And they're actually talking about, like, other coaches were talking about, like what you said, like it kind of happened, meaning, hey, let's tank the season, but it didn't really make it down the totem pole down to everybody, so no one can really confirm if it really happened or not.
They don't want to confirm that. Their job's on the line. They trying to get other jobs.
You can't tell, can you? You can't tell.
Flores got a job with what, the only NFL black head coach there is?
Yep.
Just saying.
Well, I know. So it's just weird, and it goes back to what I'm talking about when these people are making these choices. Hey, whatever this looks like, you would call. So they're saying, "Oh, we're calling Tom Brady because we wanted him to be part owner of something, the team, but maybe you can play as part owner too, you know." And so let's what the heck is going on, man? I mean, golly, I just don't get it. A $1.5 million fine and missing.
What's that? You got that in your pocket. Now,
man, come on, man, come on. So it's crazy. So there's a couple things that come up in the chat line over here. First,
I see Tommy and Brandon out there from Rellas and Raw. What's up, fellas?
Mm-hmm. So first, prayers up to Eli. Thank you guys for updating me with that. I will, I guess, I don't know if it'd be appropriate if I text him or not and just tell him I'm praying for him and thinking about him. I probably will do that. And so I don't know if you see the questions from Tommy, one of your boys. Can the talk between ownership and player contact with Brady be the line that was crossed? As he said, absolutely yes. But that still don't get him away with all the other stuff. You can't let him off the hook of.
They let him off the hook for everything else.
Right. Well, listen to what the owner said. His comment was, well, that this shows that we didn't tank, right? But he's not saying anything about anything else, this kind of stuff.
Because he knows that's the real facts.
Yeah, he said tanking is universal. That's kind of hard. As a coach, you know, I can't say that there's never been that conversation. You're trying to find the right place in a bracket, figure out where the right. If I go in as a 5th seed instead of the 4th seed, man, I'm probably gonna make it to the semis. This kind of stuff. Maybe we need to lose, you know. But man, I'm going into the game. I'm like, nah, I can't. I don't even feel right about.
You're trying to win.
Yeah,
your team wants to win everything.
Yeah, I don't have that in my bones.
Exactly.
All right, so one more team then. What about your Commanders? What's going to happen? Are they going to? I mean, they're going to put something on the owner.
This all goes back to the culture and everything we were talking about with the owners. What is it going to take for him to have to sell his team? I mean, we talk about Deshaun Watson, which still there's no facts. We, in our gut, we feel like there's been all kinds of things, but the judge also said there was no violent things. So if there's no violent things, how are you making these women do these things if there's no volatile issues? Now, on the other hand of Daniel Snyder, there's tons of violent issues and tons of workplace, you know, everybody's doing it. That's the nature of it. Mm-hmm. Why is he allowed to just be floating around in the ocean somewhere? Congress is looking for you to testify, and we're just letting him skate by. I don't understand it.
Think about it as a normal person. I think I tend to do that. I try to take myself out of this stuff. If some of this stuff would have been happening at my school, at my job, the damn doors probably would be closed. The president's fired. Whoever, everybody's gone. You're cleaning the house and you got to do this. So I don't understand how we haven't got to the point of like what you're saying with the NBA stuff, where they
because the good old boys take care of the good old boys.
You just can't do it. Sell it, and you gotta get gone. I mean, if it's that bad, then we need to go. So your boy Tommy, I don't know if you saw what he put up here, but he's saying your team probably has the worst culture in American sports.
Hold on. Tommy, you can't judge us for a little bit of stuff. Look at the Dallas Cowboys. They're known for everything.
What are
Don't
you
play
talking
that.
about? What are you talking about? There might be some personal stuff Jerry Jones been having. You know, he's got. I guess he had a kid out of wedlock and all this kind of stuff. But I don't know if he's did any things like this with the culture of the organization. I guess Dalrymple came up this year with the PR guy taking pictures of the cheerleaders, that kind of stuff. But you see what
Okay, our
happened, right?
organization's horrible. You're right. Our organization is horrible. I know. I know it is.
No, but the
That's why
point
he's
is
got to go. He's got to go.
Yeah, but see, they went on and got rid of that. They got rid of the problem. It didn't skirt around. They found out. I don't know if it was fast enough. I don't know if they tried to hide it or whatnot. But in the end, hey, bro, you got to go, man. You're out.
Gotta
You
go.
lost, you know, and someone's new is there, you know. So
Look how long he was defiant about changing the name. He was defiant and dared somebody to challenge him. These owners are fearless. They feel like nothing can stop them. Nothing. Nobody can stop them. Well, it's crazy.
They're getting too big for the britches, or is this just going to get worse? Because they're making more money. TV deals are getting bigger. These contracts are getting crazy ridiculous. So more money. I don't know.
Until we get more diversity involved in the higher aspects of the NFL, it's going to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
Be bad. Need more diversity.
Well, anyway, I'm going to shake my head on that too, because you got to work through that piece. Bama Standard says, hey, man, do I still have my GoFundMe page for putting that hit on T.O. when I took that $24,000 fine or whatever? No, because shoot, Justin, I've been asking you for $1. I can't even get $1 out of you. So, man, you know what I'm saying? I do have some pretty good stuff coming up about where people can help me with the our George T. and Family Scholarship Fund that we're going to do. So y'all be on the look out for that here pretty soon, because I'm going to ask. I got some pretty good things that I think some people might want to have, some car collectors, things of that nature. So I got some what do you say, limited edition type of things.
I need this sign right here.
Oh yeah, well then you better be paying attention, because I got some sets coming out that you only get from me with some nice coins. Craig been talking about these coins, some 8x10s. Are going to have a NFL set. It'll have all. This was the first one to have all Green Bay Packers stuff in it. Then I'm going to have an all Alabama one, and all the proceeds are going to go back to our scholarship fund. So it's not for me to make money; it's to try to help someone get into college.
Awesome.
So I will be asking about that. I will give you the details on that, Justin, about our scholarship. That'll be cool to have your support with that. Okay, so now staying in the line of the NFL, who you taking for real? 2 games, the Cowboys and the Commanders.
Okay,
what you go ahead and prediction.
I'm gonna go ahead and split. I'm gonna go ahead and split if we don't win both. Honestly, if we don't win both, and I'm a realistic person. Okay, I even picked on the big board on our big board.
No, you're not realistic. If you said y'all gonna win both of them,
I said split first, but I said we could win both, only because your offensive line is lacking, and who you throwing the ball to? You looking at Tolbert, the rookie, to be your number 2? You ain't even give Schultz his money. He's gonna be a bitter tight end. I'm just saying, who you throwing the ball to? Our defensive line, full of all these Alabama boys, is gonna be ready for Zeke. We got an Alabama defense.
So you think there's gonna be a defensive battle? I don't know if you saw Justin's question there.
I think it will be a defensive battle because I don't trust Carson Wentz. I think our rookie Dotson is gonna be the man, but Wentz I can't trust. But Dak ain't got nobody to throw the ball to.
So the Cowboys just signed Anthony Barr to a 1-year deal.
For the Vikings.
Linebacker. Yes, he's a big dude. I haven't seen. He's a big dude. He can move. He's been hurt. Things of that nature. Craig, I love your response to
Drunks are bad. Well, we're talking about the Cowboys, so they're feeling drunk. Come on, bro. We can go back in time. Michael Irvin was looking at every line on the field like, ooh. I love Michael Irvin, though. If I'd have been a Cowboy fan, he'd have been my favorite. He was the man.
All right, so what about that? You got any updates on any of your players out there? And I don't talk about the Commanders at all because we got you here as our special guest. We need to show you the respect that you always show for me as well.
I'm honestly scared of the very first game. Chase Young looks like he's not going to play. And we got We got the Jaguars, I think. And that's one of my up-and-comer teams. And I'm fearful of that game, honestly.
Wow.
Now I know we ain't gonna beat the Cowboys.
No, what do you don't even make sense.
I just shot my whole argument
down. Well,
but the Cowboys always shoot themselves in the foot, so it doesn't matter.
But based on what Pam put up here on the screen, how can you not be an Alabama fan if you're a Commanders fan and all the team is?
I'm a Notre Dame fan. That's why. And Notre Dame gets destroyed by Alabama every time we play.
That's right. We wasn't ready to segue into that. We'll get back to college football here.
All right, we'll come back to that.
I get the tickets to go to the Cowboys games, and so me and Consuelo get season tickets to go. And then there are times where we can ask for more and whatnot. Now, I try to limit that because they're not going to give me extra tickets to every game, right? So I kind of pick and choose which one's going to be the best. Who do I want to see? What players do I want to see? And some people would think that I want to go to the Washington game or have extra people go because we're Alabama fans and all that. And it's not. I don't, though. And I'm not even asking for any ticket there. The rivalry just ain't the same. I just feel like you guys will be better than the Giants.
And are y'all going to win the division?
Here's why I think we're going to win the division. I think our defense is going to carry us. They're still going to ball out for them. We're still stacked and loaded. They're still doing some stuff. And there might be some lower score games or some things that are kind of tight. We got to worry about a field goal kick or something in that nature. But I think we'll come out on the better side of close games than we have in the past. Losing by 3, losing by 4, losing by 6. I think we'll get over the hump.
You know, I
see you itching. Yeah, what?
Because I remember talking to you privately about this, and in moments like that, when it comes down to it, being disciplined and everything, the head coach will define a lot of these close games. I don't have faith in Mike McCarthy in close games at all. I don't have faith in him when the chips are on the table to do those. I don't think he can handle the pressure. There's not Aaron Rodgers out there to bail you out all the time, Mike McCarthy.
Well,
that's why y'all looking at Sean Payton.
Well, you don't get to hear the talk radio down here and stuff, and they're not. They're being hesitant on ripping on Jerry or Stephen Jones, any of those guys now because of the position that we have with the wide receivers, and particularly lack of offensive movement in the offseason kind of thing. And so, to answer your question, Justin, no, I'm not really confident in that. I don't know. Some people think I'm pessimistic and all this other kind of stuff. I just don't think. From what I've heard, and I haven't watched all of the stuff on NFL Network and watching the Cowboys and their deal, but I heard, maybe just one day, Dak had a battle. The wide receivers are dropping the ball all the time. They're starting to get testy. The defense is kicking their tails.
Yeah.
This kind of stuff. And maybe that iron sharpens iron whole kind of thing, that they're going to come and it's going to make us better and all that kind of stuff. But all I know is when you start, they're going to have these 2 practices against other teams. They're going to know who they got on this doggone team, what offensive guys they got before they get into preseason. You're going to get into preseason, then you're going to kind of see this. They just need to stay healthy. They got to stay healthy. Guys are already going down, starting to get hurt. Let it kind of work itself out, So that's where I am.
Jerry Jones said he's going to let it ride with these with these rookie and young wide receivers, would you want? Because I know you wouldn't be scared of none of them if you were playing right now. You wouldn't be scared of none of the boys on Dallas's offense at wide receiver. Would you want to pick up somebody like an Odell or Cole Beasley or Will Fuller? Or Jerry Jones is kind of crazy. He might want to take an Antonio Brown. I don't know. He likes to show. He likes all that star stuff. So
I
would
could
you
see
want to
that.
get one of them?
I could see that happening. I ain't taking OBJ because he's still hurt. He's not even gonna be back till
He'll be back soon enough. He'll be back before Gallup will.
he got hurt in the Super Bowl.
That's okay. You'll still take him.
It got 9 months. Or yes.
What about the others? Will Fuller, I think Will Fuller would compliment CeeDee Lamb a lot
He
for that offense.
always hurt, man.
He is always hurt.
He always
But,
hurt.
hey.
He's just gonna be another one you're gonna bring in. Then you got to give him a settlement or something because he's gonna come in and get hurt, take up a roster spot. We're not gonna do that. Who else you said? Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley was a fan favorite for the Cowboys.
He would have been, but he shouldn't have talked the way he did about the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones on his exit out.
But didn't Amari Cooper do the same thing? Everybody's talking when they leave. They telling their real stories.
But they ain't. But why would you expect for them to bring him back after you exit like that? Tell the stories after you retire, man. Have your
that's
podcast
smarter.
and a
Don't
good
burn the
book.
bridge.
You might need to be able to get back. I ain't gonna turn down that money. So
T.Y. Hilton then. T.Y. Hilton's right there, veteran.
I could do that maybe for cheap.
He would be cheap, right?
Yeah, she's asking about did the wide receiver get a foot injury? Yes, that was James Washington, the guy that came over from the Steelers.
It's nothing. I mean,
broke his. I don't know what he did to his foot. I think it was a fracture in his foot at the end of a play. So now they don't have him. They don't have Gallup. We got to. I guess we're hyping up the guy from the USFL now, and I don't know. So no, we're not gonna get some of these guys. Why not Bo Scarborough? Yeah, I don't think Jerry go get another running back. Anything that's gonna put any kind of undue pressure on Zeke and his guy, he's not gonna do that.
He's a wimp.
He got Pollard and those guys. Are you taking Gibson with your first pick in the
Nah, not my first pick. Because as you see, I'm number 10. So it's probably going to shape out to me taking a top wide receiver with my first pick. The way I'm looking at the draft board, if I had to guess. But the best people are me and below. So it's me, Brandon, and Tommy. So the rest of the people I ain't really got to worry about.
And yep, I've been in y'all.
Because we
There's always somebody fishing, doing something. They think they got a mastermind, and something gonna slip right to me.
You do be getting that insider stuff. I remember last year you took Russell Gage, and we were like, "What?" When you take Russell Gage, he had like 20-something points that week. I'm like, "He's unfair. He's got an unfair advantage, yo. This is crazy."
Hey man,
I'm still winless against you. Still winless.
What do you think about this? Robinson Jr. going to end up being the running back one in Washington.
No.
Okay.
But Gibson does get hurt a lot, so I mean.
Yep. Well, Gallup's going to be back in. Okay, so let's I appreciate you guys with all the stuff with the pro stuff, but let's take it back down to college. We're 40 minutes in already. And I want to talk to you about the, state of college football. Just what do you think we're at? You think it's okay? It's where you expected? You're surprised with all this stuff going on? Or, the NIL deals, the super conferences, all this kind of stuff, movement. What do you think, state?
I think the state is just the beginning. I think that we need to acknowledge what it is. This double super division needs to be what it is and not represent the university as far as divisions for their university. They can represent them being university or whatever, but don't include football as part of the sport package as the other sports, because the other sports are in divisions where they have to travel and things of that nature. Putting these mega conferences in there, you're going to hurt all the other sports. You can still make the money to support these other sports by doing what you're doing. I think they need to break it down. They used to have Division 1, 2, and 3, remember? Yeah. I think they're going to have a Division 1, which is going to be all the Power 5 super duper teams. They're going to have 2 conferences there, and they'll have another Division 1 championship, which will be the non-power fives and the
Those
power
group.
five schools that don't cut the mustard like a Vanderbilt in the SEC, because I know that's the team that you were trying to go to. So that's the reason I brought them up, or Duke for that matter, that don't cut the mustard in the ACC. They would drop down, but you're still making money to support the lacrosse teams, the swim teams, and things like that. And you might even get some FCS schools like my hometown school, James Madison, just joined the Sun Belt. You might get North Dakota State, who's a perennial powerhouse. Carson Wentz, my quarterback in Washington, went there, and Trey Lance to the 49ers. But they might actually move up to that Division I second tier level. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's good. I hear you. I mean, there's going to be so much movement over the next year, 2, 4 years, whatever. You know, and I don't even think there's going to be a Power 5 anymore. I don't know what you think about that. I think there's going to be 3 conferences, probably Power 3 in a group of 6 or 7. You know, the smaller schools, and I just think the whole landscape is going to change. Is it better for football?
Yes.
I'm going to say I think part of what we're doing is better, but all the time when I come back to the NIL part, paying the players is better.
Yes.
But the way we're doing it is not. So I don't know if that makes – I don't know if I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth.
Get it. I understand.
I just think that it's not – we didn't think this through all the way. Because this makes me think, and please get in the chat and see what you guys say about this. Will this lead? Will the NIL lead to some type of cap? It's almost like free agency now. People are making deals, whether it's the coach or whatnot. Some company, something offering somebody to come to school for them. Is it going to have to be regulated? So eventually, some company's not saying, "Well, I'll give you $8 million. You can come on over here," and
that's what's going to happen.
You know,
not that it wasn't happening already on the wink, wink, Ross for Miami, wink, wink, like it wasn't happening already.
It still might happen, even if they make the rules. I get it, but I just think optically, it, like you said, it just feels better if we're knowing. Hey, so I don't know if you saw what Texas Tech did, right?
What did they do?
So Texas Tech, in the name of fairness, this company wanted to support their school, NIL, like everybody else does. But what they said is, hey, every scholarship player on the football team, every single one of them, we're giving you $25,000 a year.
Wow.
Every single one of you get it.
From the star to the bottom guy?
No, yep. Hey, I know such and such might get some more. That don't mean you can't go get another deal, but you ain't got to be over there mad at that other guy because you didn't get anything. So flat across the board, we're going to give you something. And then this is what they did a little bit bigger. So then they started talking about Title IX. Hey, you're doing this football, all the guys and all this kind of stuff. So they talk about girls sports. So then he said, hey, no problem. Girls basketball team. Everybody on the team, you get $25,000 too. Right? So now you go, okay, this makes a little bit of sense. It's not the end all to everything, but there was some kind of continuity here. So I just felt good about that. I think if we look more at stuff like that, that it can be regulated. Your KXNB says he thinks it needs to be regulated. I 100% agree. I think we need
it definitely needs to be regulated. You already see in high school, you're athletic director. I mean, I hope you have to deal with the craziness with it in high school. And I think that once you see a generational talent, it might even go down to middle school. You know what I mean? And then what? Pandora's box is busted wide open.
It will. So 9 states have NIL rules for high school kids. Texas is not there yet, but it's going to be here because Louisiana passed the law that they're going to start allowing NIL deals. And you can't tell me that people on the east side of Texas that are ballers, if they can jump across the border real fast and pick up whatever kind of cash, they're going to go play, in New Orleans or something else.
Exactly.
So we're going to have other problems there. So Craig asked this, and this is an SEC question, and maybe you can get out of your box a little bit. But Craig says, is Texas and Oklahoma going to fit into the SEC? Well, what do you think about that?
I'll say initially no, but Texas, they've got money everywhere, and with NIL, they're going to be the one that flourishes way more than Oklahoma. Their facilities are top notch already, and then you're guaranteeing the students the money that Texas money. Everything's bigger in Texas, including the NIL money. I think Texas, maybe not year 1, year 2, but they're going to be one of the top ones in the SEC. Oklahoma, I don't know what all they can really offer around Oklahoma. And I think that's one of the things about Alabama that might hurt them going down the line is because of what they have to offer as far as surrounding areas.
Yeah, well, you got to leave. There ain't a whole lot going on in Tuscaloosa. I can tell you that much. But you can get to Birmingham, and you can get to Montgomery, and you can get to the beach fairly quickly. It's not too bad to do that. But you know what I think about this? I kind of concur a little bit about it. But I think as long as they begin to understand what the SEC is, it is totally different than the Big 12. It's different. Play a different style of football. So you have to recruit different for the SEC. If they can figure that part out. So it's no different. Missouri came in. Texas A&M came in. Took a minute. They had a good year. They came in and people trying to figure them out. But after a while, they hadn't really moved all the way over into SEC football. Yeah,
that's true.
They didn't really understand. Just pound the ground and big and thick. It's just different type of guys that they recruited. And they just want to stay with their old ways out here being west, of Alabama, that is. Anyway, so regardless of how much money they have, it's really going to be Ken Sark or someone else come and really start to recruit a different athlete, because if they don't do that, they're going to struggle for a long time, and that won't be good for them in the win-loss percentage.
Well, here's my question, Mr. George.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about this, and the way people can just transfer a portal or whatever. Who's to say a 5-star recruit says, I'm going to go to Texas for 2 years to get my NIL money, which I'm going to get way more than Alabama. And then I say, just like the wide receiver from Ohio State went to y'all last year that's on the Detroit Lions now. I'll just go join Alabama now after I made all my money in Texas. I feel like this could be a crazy situation that a lot of people might do. What do you think?
I 100. Where's the school you said you went to, James Madison? What was
James Madison is here. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why, because you're a smart kid. I'm listening to what you're saying, and I know it takes a little bit of brains to be able to get in that school, and you're showing it right now, because that is going to happen. People are going to move for their benefit or whatever it is. Hey, I can go over here. They're going to offer me this. I might not want to be there long, but I'm going to go ahead and get this dollar, this dime, or whatever. Get my film. Now I'm going to go ahead and bail. I'm sure someone is talking to them about what the real percentages are of getting into the NFL and injuries. That now they got to start talking about finances and this kind of stuff and how do you manage your money. And someone can say, "Man, I might take a pay cut if I got to go." So you telling me I'm projected to go in the 6th round, but I'm making a cool $2.5 million over here.
Yes.
And I got to go in for 665 and still make the team. And I don't know. I think I'm gonna go ahead and retire after college football.
And you're gonna see a lot of that.
Yeah, you think people don't want to work now? Good Lord, these guys.
You got that right.
I retired.
It's gonna be like the NBA offseason. Everybody trying to trade, join up with this team, going over here, making my money here, going there. It's going to get crazy.
How weird is that going to be when the first shirt or the first hat or the first slogan you see is, "I retired at 22. Ask me how." I play football.
Ask me how. NIL, baby.
Yes,
That's what it's gonna be.
So yeah, your boy Tommy says when NIL gets big enough, it will be more powerful than free agency.
Yep.
It is free agency. It's just called something different, and the money is coming from a different source. So I do know that schools are having to. They can't ask for money. They can't cultivate it. That's kind of the little rule there. But they're having to try to find a donor base that is willing to give that kid or those people this type of money because they know they're going to lose them. I know that's why Nick Saban lost his shit, as you're kind of alluding to, because our donor base is different in Alabama than others. Texas, we got great people to support and give the stuff, but you haven't really heard someone at Alabama say, "Here's $200 million for
no."
something.
You just say you might win a ring.
You
might win more. That's what
Here's
you
just go buy this new stadium improvements. They got this because of the TV deals and other kind of stuff. But there are other schools that got all this oil money and all this other stuff, and they're going, "No, you good, boss. I got you. You go ahead, just have a meeting. You kind of tell me what you need. How many guys you really gonna need? Okay, we'll figure out how to contact them, and we'll offer.
We're gonna have some live golf stuff out here. All this money going everywhere to everybody.
Well, so I'm going to go back into this, and I digress. But here's what's happening. If you guys don't really know this, because we're always talking about is money, but we're not talking about what they're doing for the name, image, and likeness. No one's really talking about that. Not at all. Okay, name it. What are you saying? We're giving you this to be on the commercial, or we're giving you this to, this don't have anything to do with jersey sales. This don't have anything to do with the picture sales, this kind of stuff. So they're literally, I've read this, they're giving these guys this money. Hey, you're going to represent our company at charity events. We need you to just come out and donate your time a little bit, show your face, your name, your image, your likeness is going to be out here. So you ain't really doing, we're going to give you about $2.5 million. I need you to come by.
We're going to exploit you.
Yeah, I need you to come out for about 5 events where we have our corporate things, whatever, and maybe whatever. So it's still shady a little bit on that. Let it be what it needs to be, because I think when it really started, we as players were saying, "Hey, that card you held up, I need a percentage of every single one of those. Every jersey that you're pumping out at the bookstore or whatever, I need a little bit of that. That 8x10 that such and such has done, you gave him that licensing agreement with the university, and he takes it to the mall, and now he's selling it. I need a piece of that." That's how it was started, and not necessarily about, well, we're just going to go get these recruits and call it NIL, So anyway, I've been ranting on that.
Well, let me ask you one question real quick. I'm sorry to ask one question. What about the scholarships? Where big universities are offering scholarships to certain players, obviously, to come to your school. Can it ever get to a point where you say, we're going to give the scholarships to maybe students, and then we're going to say, hey, we're going to give you an NIL to come to our school? You think it'll ever get to that point?
Because
because
it could all be rolled in. Basically making them pay for school. Essentially, you could say that, hey, we're going to give you $1 million. I'm just making up something. $25,000 of it is for you to go to school or whatever. So it's really $975,000. What you're going to clear, but out of this, we're going to take your books. You're going to take your stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Total bill $50,000. You good with that? There's some negotiation going on. Well, why don't you just give me $1,050,000? Then we got it covered. So
crazy.
Anyway, let's see. What did your boy say here? I'm gonna read it. Going to keep this kid at school because they're getting paid, but it's wrong. It's special that they get the league and less money. That's right. That's basically what I mentioned here a second ago, right? Don't you think that there's animosity with this? No one's really going to talk about it. But have you ever been? I don't know if you've ever coached, and this is
I've
actually
coached not high school or nothing like that, but lower levels.
okay. So this has actually happened to me. I've seen it, witnessed it, and you know what's happening. So jealousy amongst players. Who's getting the most press? Who's getting all the interviews? Who's on Fox for whatever. And he's a quarterback. He's getting all the money. He's pretty boy. He's smart. He's doing all this kind of stuff. But he ain't real nice to his linemen. And they see all this kind of press and all this kind of stuff. And they go, all right, I'm just going to miss this block.
Any given Sunday.
Yeah, no, just man, what are you doing stuff? Oh, my bad, coach. Just whatever. And then again, and he thinking in the back of his head, hey, if you don't take care of these other people, if we're only going to give the quarterbacks the money, if we're only going to give the running backs the money, if you're only going to give the defensive backs the money, you're going to create a problem. You got
that right.
You can't get them line with $25,000 or whatever. You got to give them something because that's where it is. They're protecting your prized possession back there, and they deserve a big chunk of money. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Maybe their name and their image and their likeness don't look the same because they're 345 pounds and they're 6'8" and they're scary or whatever.
Bingo. That's facts right there. Absolutely.
So I don't know, man. I just think that it's crazy. Let's see what he says. Do you think it gets to a point where the players from union and get coaches fired? So are the players gonna unionize? Essentially, I think is what I hear him saying. Yes, I do. I don't think it's that far away. I think at any point, the way that this is going now, the players' voices, their parents' voices are so doggone loud that they come in and say something, and if you could actually get someone to bond together, some team, it's going to take one team, and then everyone will jump in and get in on the deal.
Yeah.
Hey, we're not playing this week. The whole lineman group says, nah, bro, I'm out. We chilling. I'm going to class. I'm going to class. They have to be afraid of that, the schools, because they could. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't I? Okay, maybe I'll lose my scholarship or something. Or maybe I'm not even on scholarship. What if I am all the guys? Someone asked me how important the scout team guys were. What if all your walk-ons and the other people, the other 80 people that are on the team, that ain't getting nothing but getting beat up on, probably taking more reps now because they don't want to get the other guys hurt or something? What if they just say, hey, man, we out. Y'all practice on y'all own. Y'all 85. Y'all deal with it. Why not?
It could get scary.
Why not? They're already paying for school. They're just having the luxury of going out there and sweating and saying, I'm on the team, but get a ring. So, oh, man, I don't know. Well, man, it's been really good. I feel like I could talk to you for a very long time about this because, like I said, you have very good thoughts.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You do. Yeah, and you do a good
Grateful
job.
to be here, man. Grateful to be with you. Definitely.
So,
even though you're a cowboy, a legendary cowboy, it's okay.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm glad that you invited me into your league, to your fantasy football league. I do plan on doing what I've done every single year, finishing ahead of you, regardless of what happens.
But see, you might beat me 1-on-1, but I win the rings.
Oh my gosh!
I still want to see your ring one day. I still got to see your ring one day.
When you're the commissioner, you get to do whatever you want. You got an extra ring there at the house.
I
I don't-
started the league over just for you.
No, you
So you
didn't.
can have a
Whatever.
clean slate, pick your
No.
team, clean slate.
I know why it happened. Your wife was starting to kick your tail, and you needed to regroup and say, and so then you sent me the wrong link. See, there's all kind of stories on here. Don't get me started on this. Then he sent me, hey, would you think you would come join my other league and do this other kind of stuff? Then he hit me with he sent me the link. I'm trying to click in. I'm all up in there and going on. That he felt it got bad on his conscience, y'all. It got bad on his conscience because he said, you know what? Let me see you this other link. Try this one. I'm like, oh, I see what we're doing here. I see what we're doing here.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I can't even say that. I know I messed that all up. I can't even say that.
I understand. So I've just got that.
I can't wait to the draft. We moved it back an hour. We moved it back an hour. Huh?
Yeah, I'm saying my pen noted on exactly what you did. Now I'm gonna figure out some kind of way. I'm gonna call every player in the league, man. I'm playing TJ this week. Y'all better show out because
I can't wait. I'm gonna win this. I'm gonna win this year. And remember, your entry fee is taken care of.
Oh yeah, I do need to send you. No, I don't want no bribery. We're just talking about this.
I didn't give you no bribery.
I don't want to. No. You're gonna get your entry fee. I'm still gonna send your wife the jersey. I'll send you the jersey, but I don't want no mess later. Oh well, I had to let him win. I had to do something.
Hey, how about this? If you beat me, I'll hold the jersey you send her up, smiling, because I don't ever want to touch no Cowboy jersey like that. I had to touch Emmitt Smith when I first met him, but he was a nice guy. So was Deion Sanders. He was a nice guy too. I met both of them. For Cowboys, they were nice. They were nice people.
Oh my gosh. Nice. Well, Craig, you're right. Because what I have won our league, my other league. So I'm in the other league. We have our street team league. The people that helped me kind of format what T's take was going to be. We had a street team together to really kind of talk about.
Oh, she beat your butt.
She's won the last 2 years, I believe.
Wow. You failed to mention all that while you were dogging me, though.
Well, she's beat me in the championship. Well, she beat me in the championship. We came down the championship. Everybody thought we were cheating.
Who's the commissioner? You?
I am.
Cheating? You talking about me? You talking about me?
What are you talking about?
You and your wife was in the championship game?
Man, it's called the Teagues Take League, man. What are you talking about? We supposed to win. JT was the one struggling. JT finished way down the bottom. He didn't fell out. He I ain't even playing this year. Anyway, she ended up. She didn't think she was going to win it last year. I think she won it again this past year. I think I took third or something like that. I got knocked out somewhere. But anyway, we'll. Oh, I like that idea. Maybe we can make a side bet on whether or not you got to wear.
Oh, Alabama. That's Brandon. That's my boy Brandon, who's an Alabama fan right there. That's Brandon.
Maybe we need to make you put that up because we didn't even get to talk about the Notre Dame stuff in Alabama. So we'll come back. I'm gonna have you on another show. We're gonna. I need to do a college edition.
Okay.
Right? So when we're doing this kind of stuff, typically I try not to do too much mixture between the pros and college, just because we might lose the people that don't like pros or the people that don't like college.
Right.
Or whatever. So we tend to lean heavy one way or the other on whether we want to be on the NFL side or the pro side. Please know that while you're listening to the show, we'll try to tease about what we're talking about with that. So because we have a lot of Alabama talk, of course, especially as closer the season gets. But we got to get back on talking a whole lot of Alabama, but we can talk globally with the NCAA. Where does Notre Dame fit? Who are they going to? What conference are they going to jump into? Are they going to jump into a conference? Is everybody going to migrate to them? I don't know what's going to happen, but it'd be fun to watch.
Yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be real fun, yeah.
And see that. So we'll be able to chat that up. And I don't know, maybe we can get one of your old buddies from there. Didn't Rocket play at Notre Dame?
Yes, he did. Won the Heisman too, baby.
Yeah, so maybe we can get Rocket to come back on and
what?
A little bit awesome. About that. So we'll see.
I actually got an autographed helmet of the Rocket.
Mm-hmm.
And Lou Holtz.
Well, listen, it's been a very, very, very good show. I appreciate everyone for being in. We're going to be back next week. It's weekly thing now, Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern. I guess that makes it 6 o'clock out on the Pacific Coast. If you're out there, I don't know who the guest is yet. I'm starting to work on the guest list really for September because I want to have some dynamic guests each and every week. All kind of personalities, whether it's individuals like you doing a great job here, some celebrity people, some sportscasters, TV, this kind of thing. And we're really going to have a deal because I might go back on site again if COVID behaves itself, and if I can cut the deal that I need to make with this little local bar around here, I probably will be on site. JT probably won't be there every week because he just had his new baby and all that kind of stuff.
Congratulations.
But he could shoot from remote, and so sometimes maybe the guests will be in the bar. Sometimes they won't. You just have to pay attention and know what's going on, So I'm already thinking about the Alabama-Texas game, having a special guest there, probably a player from Texas or two, Eric Metcalf, maybe Jonathan Scott. I've even talked to Jermichael Finley about coming on specifically for that game. So, but I might save him for the Cowboys-Packer game. I don't know. You see where I'm going? So we got a lot of things that we got lined up here. Y'all just need to stay tuned. Again, tune in to Teague's Take. Make sure your buddies hit that bell up there so they know what's going on. I promise to put something good in the subject line so they know exactly what we're trying to do. But follow me on Twitter at Teague Football, Instagram at Teague Football. Follow me on Facebook. It's George Teague something. I don't really know what it is. I post on it all the time, but I never ever reply. Craig can tell you that. I don't have enough time for all three. So most of my attention is on Twitter and Instagram. But I do post so people can keep up with what we're doing with the family and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you enjoyed the show tonight, Terrell. Is it Terrell or Terrell?
It's Terrell, baby, not Terrell, like you smacked on the 50-yard line. Terrell.
They said you changed your name after you went to a different money bracket. It used to be Terrell. Now you Terrell. Drop one of the R's and all this kind of stuff out of your name. The Bamberry doing good.
Very grateful for being on. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're going over. I don't want to keep your time. I don't want your wife to come down and start throwing stuff at you. Because I know she will, because I done seen her kick your tail before, So
hold on, your wife beats you, man. I got the ring. She don't.
Keep on talking. I'm gonna mute you. Is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mute
I can't wait.
All right, guys.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sit tight for a second, T.
All right.
We'll see y'all later. Deuces.